Well, with the recent sad news of the Beasts of Chaos being scored from Age of Sigmar, you can tell I was sad about it, but there isn't really much I could do about it, even after emails, so I guess we'll just have to move on. Let's talk about painting an Arthurian knight in the colours of myself and other Vtubers.
Ho ho ho! Nous entremos en plein dans ces flèches! Ho ho ho!
No! Well, I guess I am doing the French after all. Oh well. The following are the paints required to, paint a version of myself as a knight. Well, more a fanboy of me rather than an actual knight. First, we prime with white scar while the model needs 3 sub-assemblies, then clear up any mistakes with Corax white. Apply the white to all the bits. The second main base paint is Corvus Black. For the horse, this is going over the back half of the trapper and bridle. You can also start on the heraldry at this stage as well, making a cross out of the same black. For the knight, you're aiming for the trousers, the centre of the top half of the tabard, the small shield on top of the helmet, and the little shields on top of the back of the helmet, and also the bit of flag on the lance. After that, Balthazar gold going over all the remaining small shields, the fleur-de-lis, the shield trim, pommels, and Pauline. Then, Celestial Grey over all the visible fur on the horse, including the tail. Jokero Orange next, going over all the leather banding, including belts, sheaths, and stirrups. Close to done with the base paints now, Mechanicus Standard Flesh just to be applied to the hooves. Use Iron Hand Seal over all the remaining metals on the model, such as the chainmail, unpainted plate, the lance tip, and counterweight, helmet and horseshoes. Seal Legion Drab next, going over all the antlers and a beginning of the heraldry. For the heraldry, all you need to do is make 2 mirroring croissants using the drab. A few thin coats will be necessary for intended looks. Apply this to the shields found on the horse, trapper, and actual shield. Follow my horn design with Avalanche Sunset. Apply this to both the antlers and the heraldry. Once more, a few thin coats will be needed. And also apply the yellow to the remaining white bits of the helmet band. The final base step is Caliban Green, going over all the plastic tufts of grass. The first of the shades is Soul Blight Grey. This paint is going over all the white paints on the model. Next up, Nuln Oil, going over all the steel, black, grey and drab paints. After that, Gryph-hound Orange. This paint will go over all the orange and Balthazar Gold, since we are needing copper instead of gold. Athonian Camo Shade for the final shade paint, going over all the green. dearest Bear, I would put the clip of me doing the white score edge highlighting over the white. If I left it in frame! Edging greys up, going on the edges of all the black. Then, all Thrawn grey going over all the visible horse fur. Hashut copper afterwards, going over all the Nal copper details. Next is a simple layering of Troll Slayer orange going over all the orange details. Dawnstone next, simply just going over the hooves of the horse. Then Runefang steel to finish the remaining metals. For all the horns and antlers, use Baneblade Brown across most of the drab. Use the Baneblade Brown to make the horn segments as seen on my avatar. Then, just a highlight of Carrick Stone on the sharpest points of the antlers. And as an edge highlighting of the horns. The final touch of yellow next, with Uriel yellow as the main layer. And a stippling of Dawn yellow in the most inner points of that yellow on the antlers and horns. Forgot to add in the recording of it, but do a 1-to-1 mix of Chirkuro and Troll Slayer, then do the horse's eyes. You know, looking at me, it kind of makes sense. Finally, the final step of layering as Warpstone glow for the edges of the plastic grass tufts. At this point I just followed the Warhammer channel's guide on making the French ground, so start with Sterling Mud. Before the next part, superglue the 3 sub-assemblies together, then use Moot Green in a stippling motion. Then a few shade layers of Nuln Oil going over all of that base. Carrick Stone in a dry brushing motion, going over all that now dry shade paint. And then finally an Abaddon black all over that rim. And don't forget to add some Verdia Velt to the base once the paints are dried. And there you have it, a Knight of the OSHI ready to joust in the name of the one he pushes. But he isn't alone, as he is accompanied by many others, including Dragon Mon Boss Semi Enigma, Ducko, and some weird cat I found outside who calls herself Colourful Chaos. I still have more to paint, but these are the ones waiting patiently for their models. Any remaining knights will be posted on Twitter and YouTube with their links to their accounts. Thank you so much for waiting and I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in June for the next video.
You did it again, James. You pushed away the one guy who actually gave a damn about you.